Hi, welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiazda. On today's show, we'll check in with the Public Works Department. My guest today is Justin Clausen, Operations Manager with the City of Ames Public Works Department. Justin, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, you've been in the studio several times before, but often in a different position. Tell us a little bit about your new position.
I'm the Operations Manager, as you said, for the Public Works Department. So I came from the engineering side of Public Works, where I dealt with the capital improvement projects and a lot of the construction on the engineering side. A lot of my work there dealt with contractors, dealt with residents and citizens, helping navigate the vast construction that happens in Ames during the summer. So in November of last year, I was promoted to the Operations Manager, so now I'm more on the maintenance and operations side. So a lot of the activities that I oversee now include snow plowing, street maintenance, pothole patching, water main breaks, sanitary sewer, cemetery, trees, and all the above. And
while that is a great promotional opportunity for you, sadly, you had to give up on the road with Justin.
I did. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss filming that every few weeks. It's a good chance to get out and meet people and get a good view of what's going on in the city.
One of our popular Channel 12 programs, so we're sad to see that be passed off to somebody else. But good to have you on the show. And as you get acclimated to your new position, almost at the same time, there's a new issue for the City of Ames to be looking at.
Yes, there's a great opportunity that I was able to inherit with the emerald ash borer. So we're in the first year of our program with the emerald ash borer, and basically what we've got is we've got an invasive pest that's coming across the United States. It's a small little green beetle that primarily likes ash trees, and what it does is it attacks the ash trees, prevents the nutrients from getting to the top of the tree, trees die. So in the city, over the past few years, we've done an inventory of about 15,000 trees, and out of those, we found we have over 2,000 ash trees.
And that inventory was of the public trees
yes.
in the parks, along the public right-of-ways?
Yes, that's correct. The inventory was only on public property only. So out of that public property, we identified over 2,000 ash trees that are at risk to the public. So we're talking about trees that are in the parkways and on the streets, in the parks that are near recreation facilities or along trails that if they get sick and disease and fall, they may have a chance to injure somebody.
This inventory was actually very helpful for a lot of reasons. One, it identified the ash trees, but it also identified our urban forest and how diversified it was, and we actually realized it really wasn't.
Exactly. It really brought to light the lack of diversity, and as you mentioned, speaking strictly in the public sense, there's tens of thousands of private trees as well. We have over 16% ash trees in the city, and unfortunately, all 16% of those are going to have to come out and be replaced. And we've got over 20% of maple trees. So there's a lot of maple trees that have been planted. If anybody can take something away from this program today, please don't plant as many maple trees if you can. I don't want to recommend that they're not a great tree, but we really need to diversify our species, really need to diversify our canopy, so that way if we have another pest in the future, we're able to withstand anything that may come without having such a large issue.
So emerald ash borer has not actually been discovered in Ames, but it has been discovered nearby.
Yes, we have not discovered it in Ames yet. The closest places have been Story City, which was last spring, I believe, and then they found it in Boone as well around the same time.
So close, and you know, it travels, and it will be here. I mean, it's not if, it's really when.
Exactly. The research will tell you that if it's found within 10 to 15 miles, you need to start taking action. And so when Story City and Boone got it, we were already in the process of building our plan and building our response, but that really kicked it into high gear at that point in time.
And the other thing that we have the benefit of knowing other cities who've been infested earlier, that we know that trees don't survive this.
Yes, we've done, internally done a lot of research here at the city and talked to places in Illinois and Wisconsin and Michigan and Ohio and whatnot. They're finding very few trees that actually survive. It's a pest that comes through, it has a large pest pressure, and then it kind of moves on. There's not much that's left when it's through.
So the city plan, again, is to take out the ash trees, but also a one-to-one replacement. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, so right now we're going through a 20-year plan. So part of that 20-year plan is we will take out about half of the trees in the first 5 years. That first half of the trees we take out are going to be the smaller ash trees due to their cost to replace, due to their ability to be treated effectively, and then any trees that are sick or damaged. So once those are out, we will obviously replace those, as you say, one-to-one. But then in the meantime, we're going to treat the healthy ash trees until it's time for them to be removed. So right now in the city, we've gone through the first year worth of removals. We are in the first year of treatment of the trees, and those are kind of wrapping up this summer. And then we will start the replanting one-to-one this fall. So part of the replanting is planned that we knew we were going to go ahead and do. We took out 228 trees, I believe, this past year. So we have 228 trees that are going back into those locations that were already removed. And as part of that, we're going to replace every tree that we take out. So they may not be in the exact location. They may not be in the exact neighborhood even. We may have to move those around a little bit. But the goal is if we take a tree out, we want to put a tree back.
And again, we're talking about public trees. One of the sort of silver linings of this is the interesting partnership that has developed now over the past year with the Ames Foundation.
Yes, we were approached by the Ames Foundation we've worked with them on several different projects, but specifically on the Emerald Ash Borer. They approached us and asked if they could partner with us in doing they actually asked what they could do. And in retrospect, we said we can look at some proactive replanting. So we've worked with them pretty closely to come up with a proactive replanting plan to basically go into these neighborhoods before we take a tree out, allow the new tree to get into place, and allow the new tree to grow, try to minimize the impact we have on that urban canopy.
Yeah, that's really exciting information. You even have some neighborhoods targeted that you're looking at going into initially?
Yes, we last spring in April, we went after the Roosevelt neighborhood. We planted, I think, between 30 and 40 trees up there. And it was very successful. We had volunteers come and plant the trees, and the city helped identify locations where they could go. So this fall, on September 26th, we are looking at it's a large neighborhood. It includes Sunrise. It's between Grand Avenue and Duff Avenue, 6th Avenue to 13th.
Okay.
So it's a large area there that we're looking at. Then we're also looking at a second location as well. I'll call it North and South Riverside. Those areas there. Both of those locations have lots of mature trees, lots of mature ash trees as well. So we really want to focus on those core neighborhoods, get the trees replanted in them, get them growing before we have to come in and cut down a 40-year-old tree that has a large impact on the canopy.
So through this partnership, the Ames Foundation is helping to fund the replacement trees. They're helping to plant replacement trees, and I know there's more information on their website at amesfoundation.org, where those of you who are interested in getting involved in the project can look for more information.
Yes, very much so. And anybody that wants to help volunteer to plant can do that. What else property owners can do is, if we're going to have a tree in your front yard in the parking, it'll be in the right-of-way in the city property there, but we encourage people and we ask them, please water that tree. If you can't water for whatever reason, contact the Public Works Department. We'd like to know that. We'd like to help make sure these trees survive. The watering is a vital portion of making sure these trees survive. And the other thing they can do as well is, as these trees grow, prune them occasionally. Make sure they have an upright growth structure. If you need help or have questions on how to prune them, contact us. We're here to help. We're here to provide guidance. It'll help that tree to grow tall and straight, and basically you're affecting your community not only today but for many generations down the road. So
just to recap, there are two neighborhoods that have been targeted in Ames for possible planting of trees.
Yes.
That tree planting will take place on September 26th. The Ames Foundation is looking for volunteers for that. And if you live in those neighborhoods, you will be getting information and follow-up about whether a tree's been selected for your site?
Yes, shortly we're going to be sending out basically I call a blanket notification to the neighborhoods, letting them know that we've selected your neighborhoods. We're going to be looking for possible locations, and then here in a couple weeks we're actually going to go out and physically select the roughly 150 locations where the trees are going to plant. Our goal at that time is to contact those property owners and homeowners individually, let them know we're going to have a tree going in your front yard in the right-of-way, and let them know that basically what's going to be happening. We're not looking at individual species yet because we really need to diversify based on where it's at, based on any utility locations we might have to move around, or overhead structures and whatnot. So it's going to be difficult to pick an exact tree for an exact location at this point in time, but we'll have some tree experts that'll help us get that taken care of.
Great, Justin. That sounds like a really, really great project. I know you're busy, so thank you for taking the time to stop by.
Thank you.
Again, if you'd like more information about that tree project, you can watch the City of Ames website. We have a special page dedicated just to tree information. That's cityofames.org/trees, where you can get updated information on this project and others involving the emerald ash borer. Some other things to think about as we get through August. The North Dakota Water Tower project to disassemble the water tower will take place August 11th through the 13th. So if you're traveling on North Dakota or in that area, you want to use caution. That tower will take about 2 days to take down, and then the area will be reseeded for public green space. So another great project. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.